Hello and welcome to week 3 of the Surrender Recap. And my name is Charles Clark and the brother edition of Surrender Fast Recap, I must say. So I'm very proud of that. Since we hit it off last week, so I brought him on back this week. Got brother Jamie Simon. What's up, man?
What's up now? How everybody doing?
I hope we're doing fine. I don't know about after this recap because I don't know because I'm ready now. You ready? Okay,
I'm
let's go.
I'm ready as I could get.
Okay, so this I had I have been, you have to read the Surrender book, and I've been listening to the comments and things, and seeing other things on social media. I'm not a purveyor of social media. I go in, I post my stuff. I heard me get back off because I got stuff to do. Um, but this week, I wanted to focus on one thing, and I wanted to focus on surrendering your hurt.
Hmm.
I really, after seeing what I've seen over the last week, I really believe that people need to surrender their hurt. We hold on to hurt and pain and anguish almost as if it's a covering. Like it's what
Hmm.
what's that Charlie Brown, the Linus, he always had that blanket.
Yeah,
We hold that stuff on like it's a blanket. And I
that's
really
good, Charles.
I don't I don't know how you can go to another level in Christ, in ministry, naturally, spiritually too, but even naturally, holding on to hurt. And sometimes the hurt you're holding on to, it's it's not even your hurt to hold on to. You hold on to somebody else's stuff. I, I
I agree,
just
man.
I just don't understand it. And I really believe that our community as a whole, we are it's getting better. We're focusing on our mental health. But I really believe that this year, the rest of 2021, and the whole year of 2022. Matter of fact, and I believe that that's going to be Brother Magazine's focus for 2022. Is all mental health. Every issue on a regular basis, we're going to focus on mental health because we are holding on to stuff. Some people have post-traumatic stress disorder. We holding on to
Hmm.
stuff that's drama and trauma that we have had in the past, and we won't let go of it. And I really believe that this is the year, this year and all of 2022, for us to let go, as the song says, let go and let God. I really believe that. And also, the thing is, we need to make sure that we seek the proper help. So we can't do it by ourselves.
Right.
And after you go talk to your pastor, I believe in pastoral leadership. I also believe in going seeking professional help as well. Amen. Amen.
All right. Amen.
What do you have to add to that, my brother? You got something good
I
to say?
agree.
Go and say it.
No. I agree that our mental health is important, and I think in this age, in this time, this dispensation, we as African Americans are more so focusing on mental health than we ever have before. So I agree with you. This is a good space for us. This is a good time. In times past, when I was a kid and times before, we didn't really deal with mental health in our community.
Hmm.
If there were some depression issues and if there were mental illness and things of that issue, I mean things of that nature, we were just told if it was mental health, uh, particularly in kids. I remember
Okay.
we were just told, "Are they bad? That girl
Hmm.
bad? That boy's bad? They just need a whooping, but they'll be
Hmm.
okay." And then the same thing for adults with depression. You'll be all right. You just get over it. That's life. I
Hmm.
remember seeing that with people.
Wow.
But again, as we get older, and in this time, I think we're being enlightened in certain areas. We're getting more information. The age of the internet is great because we've got more access to information than we've ever had in the history of the world. And so
Hmm.
that information is empowering. And as we read and study and see different things that we didn't know and things that we didn't have access to before, it definitely helps us to grow and us to mature. And information is powerful. And that's the reason why certain people try to keep it away from the African American community. And I'll do a lot of
Well,
that. But yeah, but the bottom line is it's very I think we're being empowered. We're being enlightened, and in this time we are more focused on mental health than we ever have been. So yes, I agree that this is the time to do it. It's remember we did a segment on Brother Live years ago,
hmm,
and we were talking with a psychiatrist, and it was during Mental Health Awareness Month,
hmm.
and she was talking and giving us some information. I don't remember her name, but she was giving us some information, and she stated a statistic that while she was talking, it was so staggering to me that I stopped her and I made her restate it. Here's what she
Okay.
said. She said, in America, 54, I will never forget this, 54% of the population in America is undiagnosed mental illness.
Hmm. I don't remember that, but I'm
That
glad you do.
it was, man, it hit me like a ton of bricks. 54% are
Well,
undiagnosed. Charles, that
I
thing
think we need to
sat with
double
me, man.
check
And
that
I know
statistic.
that had to be 4 or 5 years ago now.
I think we need to double
But
check. I'm gonna call Dr. Owens. Let's double check that statistic because that
I
means that
couldn't
we
believe,
all.
and it may
Well, you
be
know
more
what?
now because
But because of the pandemic. But I think that we are so in our community, we are so accustomed to saying, I'll fix that later. I'll worry about that later." Even with our own physical health, let alone our mental health, because I believe our mental health sometimes is like the lowest on the totem pole, you know. But we're so used to, oh, I'll take care of that later, I'll fix it later, or I'll just go get some sleep, or I'll just, go to a friend's house, or we have all these remedies for something that doesn't have a remedy. It needs to have a specialist, and you need to talk some stuff out. And here's the thing, I don't think that we are willing sometimes, and some of us, to be vulnerable and transparent.
true, I agree.
And I think some of that actually this is some of that actually hinders the progress when you go seek a specialist, when you go seek a psychologist or a counselor, is because we're not willing to be transparent and vulnerable. And I think that to get a breakthrough, you need to be transparent and vulnerable. I just do. There's nothing, there is nothing. If we keep holding on to stuff, it leads to other things. It leads to heart disease, and it just leads to other things. And it could lead to just a physical and mental breakdown. And that's why I believe that it is up to us. Um, Grassroots, things like this, things like the recap and Brother Live and what Dr. Owens is doing and other people are doing for us to reach the masses. It is important for us to focus on mental health. Because I'll say this. I don't know if you I at times I people watch. He'll be back. Sometimes I people watch, and I don't know, when you're out and about, I want you, Surrender Fast members, look at people. And I sometimes they don't say hello. They look so mean. And I instantly just begin praying for them. Lord, give them peace. Lord, because I don't know what's going on in their life. I don't know what's going on in their existence. I don't know. But the look of it looks so sad. I'll give you an example. There was you because of the COVID, I teach, and so I can't see my students' faces. I see Uh, there he is. I was telling the story of the I People Watch, Jamie, and I look at people and they look so sad. And I begin praying for them. I said, "Well, I wonder what's going on." And I began praying for them. And I was about to just share the story of my students. Um, I teach a freshman seminar class, and this week, this young lady, because I can't see their full face because of the mask, they had to wear the mask all day. But her eyes, I'm telling you, you could see a lot through people's eyes.
That's
She looked
true.
so sad. I said, "Sweetheart, are you all right?" And it's as if it was as if I was the first person that day. This is now later in the day. This is now like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Um, yeah, about 12 o'clock. I said, "Are you okay?" She says, and she gave me that look like, "Yo, I don't want to tell you nothing, but I'm okay, Mr. Clark." And I just knew she wasn't telling me the truth. I knew there was something going on. You could
Yeah.
just tell, but she didn't want to tell me. But she's 14. Of course, she's not going to tell me. I mean, I've only known this young lady for 6 weeks. So, of course, we don't have that type of relationship that we can talk. I just hope that she gets, that someone else sees her. That's the other thing. We don't see each other. We glance at each other. Okay, I'm going to stop. Go get Jamie, because I'm telling you, that hit me right there. We don't see each other. We don't. We don't feel each other. And that's
No, that's true.
because just like our relationships with Christ, we don't have relationships with people. Because if
Wow.
you're my friend, oh, I'm going to speak on this. If you're my friend, you should know just by the sound of my voice, there is something wrong.
I agree. I
There
totally
has
agree
been
with that.
times that, come on, I just think we need to focus. I think next week's surrender is big focus on relationships and how to have relationships. And I'm not talking about
Yeah.
boyfriend, girlfriend, wives, and husbands. I'm talking about just basic relationships with people. Because again, if you're my friend, you should know when something is wrong. And did you ask? Did you say, "Are you okay?" There have been times that Jamie makes me talk. "What's wrong with you?" Because I say, "I'm all right." No, no, bruh. No, you're not. So what's up? And
Right.
because we have that
Right.
relationship, I start spilling my guts. So,
Yeah.
but again, that's because we have relationship. And I don't think we have relationships with people. Not relationships that we can be vulnerable and transparent with. Which is well, okay. I keep talking. I'm
100%.
waiting for you to say something. Because I
Well,
can
you
keep
know what,
talking.
man? I think with friendships, we're not really taught how to make friends.
Oh, Lord.
Um, we're not. You know, if you think about it, you know, we just go
Okay.
out and we meet people and we come in contact with people, and if we find somebody who we are compatible with or somebody we have things in common with, then the conversation continues and we continue to go on, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I've learned, even as an adult, is that I don't connect with people who don't have the same friendship values that I have.
Oh, and so, oh, wait. Yeah, I can't let you go with that. What are those friendship values?
Well, one of those, the first one has to be respect.
Oh,
I mean, respect, loyalty, uh, love, and a certain amount of attention and care. I do know that you can't expect people to be the kind of friend that you are. I get that, right? Some of us just have different. Uh, we have different abilities to love people and to befriend people, and you can't expect everything that you give. But there are certain values, like I just said, those some of those things I just named, that we have to have
um.
in place. If I'm
Well.
going to call you friend,
Uh
right?
huh.
There's certain things that have to be there as staples.
I agree with you 100%. But I just have a quick critique. If I'm all about modeling. If I'm modeling, and hopefully I'm modeling
And
the way I want to be treated
yeah,
as a
yeah,
friend, then you should follow my model.
yeah, yeah.
If meaning now, if it's a bad model, then don't follow it.
Right.
But if it's a good model, and you know what a good model is,
Sure.
then you should follow that model because I treat people the way I want to be treated.
Exactly.
Because I was walking out of the cafeteria yesterday at work, and I walked out. She had the late. I had I organized an event the day before, and I wanted to make sure that everything was put back in its proper place. Um, and so as I'm walking out, I heard the ladies and the gentlemen that were in the cafeteria say, "You know what? That Mr. Clark, he's a nice guy. He don't do wrong to nobody."
That's because he's a Christian.
Well, on top of that, uh, I mean, Christians, well, believers, disciples, okay, that's a different topic. But I just think that I treat people the way I want to be treated, and
Indeed.
it shows.
Oh yeah.
And it shows. And my thing is that when you treat people the way you want to be treated, so what I'm trying to say is that the treatment that you're receiving is it because that's the treatment you showing.
Indeed. Indeed. And
I'm just asking questions.
sometimes it is. We learn, like I said, we learn relationships from early relationships that we have, right?
Hmm.
So you particularly, we grew up with large families, right?
Yes.
And so we learned how to be friends by being in the house with our family members.
Hmm.
That's how we learn to relate to one another. Yes, they're our brothers and cousins and they're kin to us, but that is how we learn to relate to people and learn to be friends, and be in relationships with people.
Yes,
And
most definitely.
it's very important how you were raised, because sometimes when you're out here, the way that you've learned to relate and be a friend, if your home life was raggedy, and if you grew up in a raggedy situation where you weren't taught, how to, share, and
Hmm.
how to be unselfish, and things of that nature, then you don't know
Yes.
those are lessons that you haven't learned. And so you bring those things into relationships with people, and they end up becoming tumultuous because, some people will deal with that, with you being selfish, and then some people will not, and so those are the contentions and the dynamics that go on. But again, we learn those things as children. We learn those things as kids, and so that's very important. And so if you get somebody in your life, and this is just personally,
Hmm.
that you find out that they weren't raised to be thoughtful, that they
Hmm.
were raised to, if some things come up and things are happening,
Hmm.
get over it or do what you do or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how they were raised. So when you bring your issues or your things that you're going through to relationships like that, they don't even have the sensibility to hear you out and to care, because they were always taught, "Oh man, you're a man. Be a man.
Right.
Be a man. Why are you
Listen.
complaining about, do what you do? It's life. Get up."
Right.
And so again, then that ends up being a problem, because if you're someone who came up with a lot of brothers and sisters, and I came up with a bunch of cousins and aunts and things of that nature, uh, and I was around people who cared about me, and if something was bothering me, they would take the time to listen because they loved me.
Right.
But everybody doesn't know how to love you, because they haven't learned, And
Right.
so, for me, when I'm making friends, there's a there's a rapper by the name of Drake. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of Drake. He had a song
What do you have a
called "No
song?
New Friends," and the basis of the song basically is, when you get to a certain age, it's almost like, wow, I don't know if I'm letting too many more new people come into this space. I'm kind of like in a cool place, and so I don't really carry that, but I'm very very trepidatious about allowing new people in,
Okay.
because it just takes a lot to kind of feel people out. That's a process of getting to
Well,
know
that's
people.
because they holding on to hurt and stuff, and then they
This is
not
true.
because if you hold on to hurt and stuff, that means you're not your authentic self.
That's very
And
true.
so if you're not your authentic self, how am I supposed to get someone who is not authentic?
That's right. That's exactly
So
right.
so how I know we got to go, but listen, I got to tell this quick story because we're gonna continue this next week.
Sure.
I got to tell this quick story about being raised. You know, as you said, there was 8 of us, brothers and
Hmm.
sisters, 8 of us. But I tend to stay with a book somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Even
Uh
today.
yeah, well, uh yeah. Um my mother did something and it has served me well even now. So if there are 8 brothers and sisters, that means that at least 5 of them had their friends over in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
And my father was growing up, my father was a Boy Scout master, and he would always pitch a tent in the backyard.
Oh, cool.
So I would always go grab a book and go sit in the tent. And I was happy. I don't care. My mother did something one day, and she continued to do it over and over again. I walked in the house. I think I went to go get a popsicle or something. It was summertime. She took the book from me and she said, "Go play." I said, "But I want to read my book." She said, "No, go play." And I asked her, because she kept doing it from time to she didn't do it all the time. She did it from time to time. And I asked her when I got older, I said, "Why did you do that?" She said, "Because you need to be around your people. But also, how are you going to learn conflict resolution? How are you going to learn how to make new friends? How are you going to learn how to talk to people if you were never around people?
Yeah.
So I took your book, and well, look at you. It served you well, and it has served me well. So
A
listen, we
mother's
got to get
wisdom.
a mother's wisdom. And
Wow.
listen, I grumbled. I said, "Why she keep taking my book? Let me go play with these kids. Kids is crazy." Even younger, I said, "This kid is crazy." But no, when I come back in the house, she said, "Did you have fun?" I said, "Yeah, it was just kickball." You know,
Right.
she said, "Exactly." All right, so we got to go next week. Join us here, same time, same station, and I hope that you enjoyed our conversation. Jamie Simon, it is always a pleasure. And just to let people know that we are going to continue this. I don't know if we're always going to call it surrender recap, but we're going to continue this on a regular basis, even
Absolutely.
past even past our surrender fast. So listen. You just got to stay tuned to Brother Magazine on Facebook and on YouTube. All right.
Indeed.
Until next time, peace.